You know, it's crazy that after years of speculation, rumors, and talking about there being a Crow remake, now we are finally getting it. The trailer came out a couple weeks ago, and since then has been getting some crazy feedback. And I think it's about time that we talk about it. Hi, what's going on, folks? It's RSG Jinx. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about The Crow, the remake starring Bill Skarsgård, and some of the things that have been said online about it. Because I think, and it could just be me, but I think that the movie is getting a lot more hate than it deserves, at least for now. And I think that by the end of this video, you'll be able to see why I think this movie is actually going to be good. Now, growing up, The Crow, starring Brandon Lee, was one of my favorite movies. Hell, a few years back, I even dressed up as The Crow for Halloween. And I don't think that anybody could deny the fact that Brandon Lee was so iconic in that role. And it's part of the reason why that movie is so loved by so many people. It's always been a great movie to go back to. As I got older and became aware of the sequels that they had made, I watched those, binged all four of those movies. For some reason, I was on a Crow hype at one point. And while I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that the three sequels were great, the original was always my favorite to go back to, and is always the movie that people are talking about when you hear them mention The Crow. When talks came around that they were making a reboot, I thought, yes, this is the movie that you can reboot. This is the story that you can retell. And I know a lot of people believe that making this movie shouldn't even be a thing, that this movie shouldn't be touched because the original is a classic. Brandon Lee, that was his legacy. He died making this movie. And while I understand that perspective, I think that this is a story and a world that is worth retelling. And also, in a way, can be made to honor Brandon Lee. One thing that I am excited for in this reboot is the development of these characters. I feel like in the original, what happens to Eric Draven and Shelley happens so fast, you don't really get the chance to bond with this relationship. So every time he takes somebody out of vengeance and revenge, it's cool sequences, it's fun action, but I don't feel like it hits you in the feels as hard as it was probably intended to, or even should have. You do get these moments revealed to you through flashbacks in the original movie, and it does leave a feeling of, yes, that's tragic and that shouldn't happen to anyone. But I feel like with some time spent with Eric and Shelley, we would have been able to feel those in the moment a lot more. And in this reboot, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to explore the relationship between Eric and Shelley and see just how much they did love each other and how much of an impact this is going to make on Eric. So that I feel when he does get to these moments where he is taking out the people who took him and Shelley out, in a way, I suppose it would be more rewarding. You're gonna feel it a lot more and not just be in this for the action sequences. But speaking of action, I'm also looking forward to that in this movie. How could you not be? The trailer looked absolutely wild with the fighting and the gunfire. It looked really brutal, and I'm always down for that. Now, I don't think this is going to be John Wick level of action and choreography, but listen, not every movie can be John Wick, people. We can let John Wick have that. I think lastly, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the lore that's being built in this movie surrounding the Crow and why the Crow shows up and how long the Crow has been a thing. In the trailer, we get a narration that's talking about how when someone dies, a Crow comes to guide them into the afterlife. But when something really bad is done, that's when they get brought back in order to make right that wrong. So I think that in this movie, there's gonna be a lot more time that's spent on explaining why this is even happening in the first place. I don't feel like that was something that was questioned in the original, but I'm looking forward to seeing that further explained. Now, some of my hesitations regarding the movie are the pacing and how much time we'll actually be able to see Bill Skarsgård as the Crow. There was a rumor that was going around saying that we would only really be able to see him as the Crow for about 20 or 30 minutes. And I know, I said that I liked that we would be able to take our time in this movie. But if Eric and Shelley are the focus for an hour and a half and we only get about 20 minutes of the Crow, I can't say that I wouldn't be let down. So I hope that the pace feels good. I hope that there is a equal enough blend of before and after seeing the action, seeing the Crow, and also seeing before all of that with Eric and Shelley. Another thing online, I know people are bashing the look of Bill Skarsgård, and I understand that. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it doesn't give off Leto Joker Jr. vibes, but if you look at the original or even some of the comics, the Crow was always this punk, emo, rocker, musician type, and I think that the look of this modernized version fits that well. I would have preferred that they went with the white face with the painted black eyes, but modern interpretations do different things, so we'll just have to see. But that is where I'm gonna throw the conversation your way. Did you watch the trailer? Did you like the trailer? Do you have any predictions for where you think this movie is gonna go? I know that I've been saying Eric and Shelly this whole time, but they didn't mention their names in the trailer. And there have been different iterations in the comic books, which it seems that they have taken inspiration from. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below, what you like, what you didn't like. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to watch me talk about The Crow. And if you made it to the end, go hit that like button for me. It helps out the channel. And then slide over just a little bit, hit that subscribe button so that you get notified whenever I put out a new video. Make sure to check out the socials. They'll be linked in the description down below. And I'll make sure to catch you guys on the next one. Stay geeked up.